Divya. Today we are going to discuss a famous play of Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. Antonio, a Venetian merchant, complains to his friends of a melancholy that cannot explain that Bassanio is desperately in need of money. So Bassanio asks Antonio for a loan in order to travel in style to Portia's estate. Antonio agrees but is unable to make a loan. So all his money is invested in a number of trade ships. So Antonio suggests Bassanio to secure the loan from one of the city's moneylender and name Antonio as the loan guarantor. In Belmont, Portia expresses sadness over the terms of his father's will, which stipulate that she must marry the man who correctly chooses one of the three caskets. None of Portia's current suitors are to her liking, and she and her lady in waiting, Nerissa, fondly remember a visit paid some time before by Bassanio. In Venice, Antonio and Bassanio approach Shylock, a Jew's moneylender, for a loan. Shylock nurses a long standing grudge against Antonio, who has made a habit of betraying Shylock and other Jews of the user. The practice of loaning money at exorbitant rates of interest, who determines their business of offering an interest free loan. So Shylock adds, however, that the loan go unpaid, Shylock will be entitled to a pound of Antonio's own flesh. Despite Bassanio's warning, Antonio agrees in Shylock's own household. His servant Launcelot decides to leave Shylock's service to work for Bassanio, and Shylock's daughter Jessica seems to elope with Antonio's friend Lorenzo. That night, the streets of Venice fill with revelers, and Jessica escapes with Lorenzo by dressing as a page. After a night of celebration, Bassanio and his friend Graciano leaving for Belmont, where Bassanio intends to win Portia's hand. In Belmont, Portia welcomes the Prince of Morocco, who has come in an attempt to choose the right casket to marry her. The prince studies the inscriptions on the three caskets and chooses the gold one, which proves to be incorrect choice. In Venice, Shylock is furious to find his daughter run away, and the fact that Antony's ships are rumored to have wrecked, and he will be able to claim his debt. So in Belmont, the Prince of Aragon also visits Portia. He too studies the caskets carefully, but he picks the silver one, which is also incorrect. Bassanio arrives at Portia's estate, and they declare their love for one another. Despite Portia's request, he waits before choosing. Bassanio immediately picks the correct casket, which is made of lead. He and Portia rejoice, and Graciano confesses that he has fallen in love with Nerissa. The couples decide on a double wedding. Portia gives Bassanio a ring as a token of love and makes him swear under no circumstances will he part with it. Celebration begin. Bassanio and Graciano immediately travel to Venice to save his friend Antonio. They leave Portia and Nerissa. They will go to Venice disguised as men. So Shylock ignores the many pleas to spare Antonio's life, and a trial is called to decide the matter. The Duke of Venice, who presides over the trial, announces that he has sent for a legal expert. Portia, disguised as a young man of law, comes there, and Portia asks Shylock to show mercy, but he remains inflexible and insists the pound of flesh is rightfully his. So Bassanio offers Shylock twice the money due him. Portia examines the contract and finds it legally binding and declares Shylock is entitled to the merchant's flesh. Shylock ecstatically praises her wisdom as he is on the verge of collecting his due. Portia reminds that he must do so without causing Antonio to bleed, as the contract does not entitle him to any blood. Trapped by this logic, Shylock hastily agrees to take Bassanio money instead, but Portia insists Shylock to take this bond as return, and nothing at all. Portia informs Shylock that he is guilty of conspiring against the life of Venetian citizen, which means he must turn out half of his property to the state and half of to Antonio. The Duke spares Shylock's life and takes a fine instead of Shylock's property. So Shylock must convert to Christianity. Second, he must entirely give his stayed to Lorenzo and Jessica up to his death. Shylock agrees and takes his leave. So two women from Belmont, where they find Lorenzo and Jessica declaring their love to each other. When Bassanio and Graciano arrive the next day, their wives accuse them of faithlessly giving their rings to the women. Before the deception goes too far, however, Portia reveals that she was in fact in the new clerk. Nerissa reconciled with their husband. Lorenzo and Jessica were pleased to learn about their inheritance from Shylock, and the joyful news arrives that Antonius' ships have in fact made it back safely. The group celebrates the good fortune. Thank you.